Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 76 of Open Crypto, where we keep you informed on a bi-daily basis. If you're interested in keeping fully up to date on all things crypto, then subscribe to the channel. We put out a new video every 12 hours. And the story of the morning is from Cointelegraph's Future of Money. It's written by Helen Parts, and it's titled FTX founder SBF reportedly cashes out $684,000 after being released on bail. Just a quick correction here. They actually say that he's been released on bail. He's been released on bond. They are not the same thing under US law. SBF has allegedly cashed out $684K from a crypto exchange in the Seychelles while being under house arrest, according to an on-chain investigation. FTX founder SBF is reportedly cashing out large amounts of crypto soon after being released on bail. On-chain data suggests SBF has cashed out $684K in crypto to an exchange in the Seychelles while being under house arrest, according to the on-chain investigation by DeFi educator Bowtie Diguana. DeFi analyst Bowtie Diguana took to Twitter on December the 29th to report on a series of obfuscated wallet transactions allegedly linked to SBF, suggesting that the former FTX CEO could have violated release conditions to not spend more than $1,000 without permission from the court. This guy has no respect for the law whatsoever. He's already proven this, so why he would stick to only spending $1,000 in any one transaction, I don't know. There's no reason he would have a change of heart now. According to Bowtie Diguana's analysis, SBF's public address, which is in brackets there, on December the 28th sent all remaining Ether to a newly created address. Bowtie Diguana noted that SBF took over the address that was originally owned by SushiSwap creator Chef Nomi in August 2020. I should just point out, actually, that Chef Nomi on Twitter, when he was back in August of 2020, and just after, he actually wrote an apology for a kind of something that went wrong with SushiSwap. And he offered an apology, and it was written in exactly the same style as SBF's apology just after all this came out on November the 6th, November the 7th. And it was done on Twitter the same, but it was really, the wording used was very similar, if not almost identical. And that's led a lot of people in crypto to wonder whether Chef Nomi is actually SBF, and it's like an alt account, alternative account on Twitter that he was using, and that just never told anybody. So it wouldn't it's even more evidence to support that sort of accusation or suggestion that he's now moving money that's linked to Chef Nomi, because a lot of people in crypto believe that he was Chef Nomi. Did disgraced crypto founder SBF just cash out $684K to a crypto exchange in the Seychelles while under house arrest? His release conditions are that he not spend more than $1,000 without permission from the court. Let's examine the evidence on chain. When SBF agreed to take over control of the SushiSwap exchange from anonymous founder Chef Nomi in August 2020, he asked for ownership to be transferred to his Ethereum address. So there, SBF is giving his own Ethereum address on Twitter from his verified account. So it is him. It's not an impersonator or an imposter. And then he puts underneath, to be clear, if it's given to me, I'll make sure migration happens as planned and transfer it to a real multisig. And while I'd obviously love to see sushi on Serum, that's up to the developers. Within hours, the address given received transfers totaling $367,000 from 32 addresses identified as Alameda Research wallets. If you remember, Alameda Research was the sister company that Caroline Ellison was the CEO of, and Caroline Ellison was SBF's girlfriend. With an additional $322,000 coming from other wallets. All funds were sent to a centralized crypto exchange in the Seychelles and to the crypto bridge Rembridge, according to the DeFi analyst. So it looks like they've... Okay. So 0x7386D sent a total of 519 Ether, or around 629K, to 0x64, which also received funds from addresses labeled as Alameda Research. Bowtie Diguana also identified 5 separate transactions of less than 51 ETH, an equivalent to 61K. that were used to move funds to newly created wallets and then onwards to a Seychelles-based exchange. Additionally, the SBF-linked wallet 0x64 sent 3 tranches of 200,000 Tether, so that's $200,000, to the fixed float exchange. As the Ethereum blockchain is an immutable public ledger, this on-chain evidence is permanently available to law enforcement and the courts, Botai Diguana stated, calling attorneys from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission to look at the issues. That's the SEC. And this just sort of puts hammers home that point that crypto is transparent. It's not good. It's not good for criminals to use crypto. The dollar and the pound, these are great for using for money laundering, using for drug dealing, using for all kinds of criminal activity. Crypto is not that. It's real. People who don't understand crypto or are not familiar with it, or are just getting used to it, or just don't understand it, think that it's for criminals, think that it's used for porn sites, that it's used for money laundering and all kinds of other criminal things. And it's a really poor medium of exchange when it comes to money laundering. It can be tied, it's transparent, you can see everything that goes on. You can see the amounts, you can see the times it was sent, you can see which address sent it, you can see which address received it. So it's, and this is why everybody can see now. I can even, just as a normal person, I can go onto Etherscan now and look at this. I can put in his address that is given on Twitter, and I can see all his incomings and outcomings, all of them, from when the address first received its first amount of Ether until the present day. And I can keep, if I want to keep an eye on that, I can keep an eye on it myself. I don't need a third party. I don't need to go to somebody. I don't need to go to an auditor. I can just look. Confirmed to be related to SBF or not, the transactions do not necessarily mean that FTX founder has violated bail release conditions, according to some industry enthusiasts. I don't know that this necessarily qualifies as spending money. They are his assets already, one industry observer suggested. A number of online commenters also speculated that SBF himself was Chef Nomi. Oh, we're getting to this. This is the first time I've read this, guys, so I'm literally reading this as you are. The anonymous co-founder of SushiSwap, Coinbase head of strategy Conor Grogan, stressed that many of the recent SBF-linked transactions were heavily related to early SushiSwap activity. These wallets, assuming they all belonged to him, were heavily involved with Elping Sushi early on, well before Chef Nomi handed off the project to SBF, Grogan stated. SBF himself claimed in September 2020 that he didn't have anything to do with building SushiSwap. SushiSwap was built and then it broke, and then a bunch of people devoted their time to trying to fix it. Many have spent sleepless nights on Discord, GitHub, doing everything they can to help Sushi. They devoted a lot more time than I, with no compensation. I didn't build Sushi. I was called in and I'm trying my best to do what's right for it. But a lot of people seem to have gotten sidetracked fighting against those trying to fix it, and I'm not the only one who feels that way. There's a very, very, knowing this person, high probability that he's lying. That's all I'll say on that. The alleged SBF-linked transactions occurred about a week after SBF was granted bail, with a $250 million bond secured by SBF's parents paid with the equity in their house. SBF previously claimed that he only had $100,000 in his bank account after the collapse of FTX. The news comes soon after the government of Bahamas officially announced that local authorities seized $3.5 billion worth of crypto from FTX. On November the 12th, the authorities claimed that the action was taken in order to avoid a risk of imminent dissipation of funds, after SBF warned about cyber attacks on FTX in mid-November. So make of that what you will. That's what I've got for you this morning. Remember, everybody, to please subscribe to the channel, join our team, and we'll keep you updated on all things crypto every 12 hours. Smash the like button if you feel you got value from this video, and I'll see you all in 12 hours' time.